Good evening, everyone. Reading passages from the Peticha, the Chokhmah Kabbalah. We're on chapter 1, section 6. These four aspects mentioned above are the secret of the 10 Sfirot, distinguishable in every created being and all creation. They are the all-encompassing four spiritual worlds and are in the smallest details of reality. The first aspect is called Chokhmah, or the spiritual world of Atzilut. The second aspect is called Binah, or the spiritual world of Bria. The third aspect is called Tiferet, or the spiritual world of Yetzirah. The fourth aspect is called Malchut, or the spiritual world of Asiyah. An explanation of these four aspects that function in every soul. The first aspect is the first aspect of the neshama is when it is drawn forth from Ein Sof to the spiritual world of Atzilut. In Ein Sof, the soul is not yet called neshama because the name neshama alludes to there being some separation from the Creator, an emergence from the aspect of Ein Sof that reveals the soul's existence. As long as the soul does not have the form of a vessel, there's nothing separating it enough from the essence of God to merit having its own name. You already know that in the first aspect, the vessel is completely nullified by the light and is not recognized as a vessel. This is the secret of the spiritual world of Atzilut, being complete godliness, and the secret of, quote, the essence, the light, and the vessels are one, end quote. Even the souls of other forms of life, when they pass through the world of Atzilut, are considered unified with God's essence. Okay, now we'll enter the commentary. These four aspects mentioned above are the secret of the 10 Sfirot, distinguishable in every created being and all creation. They are the all-encompassing four spiritual worlds and are in the smallest details of reality. Even the smallest details of reality contain these four essential aspects. The first aspect is called Chokhmah, or the spiritual world of Atzilut. The second aspect is called Binah, or the spiritual world of Bria. The third aspect is called Tiferet, or the spiritual world of Yetzirah. The fourth aspect is called Malchut, or the spiritual world of Asiyah. Each of the four spiritual worlds contains 10 Sfirot, which are the details of that world. In each world, one Sfirah is dominant and gives the world its character. The dominant Sfirah of the world of Atzilut is Chokhmah. The dominant Sfirah of the world of Bria is Binah. The dominant Sfirah of the world of Yetzirah is Tiferet. And the dominant Sfirah of the world of Asiyah is Malchut. An explanation of these four aspects that function in every soul. Everyone's soul has gone through this progression. The first aspect of the neshama is when it is drawn forth from Ein Sof in the spiritual world of Atzilut. The soul progresses from the Creator's desire to give goodness that is called Ein Sof or Keter, and arrives at the spiritual state called the Sfirah of Chokhmah. In Ein Sof, the soul exists in the realm of God's thought. In the Sfirah of Chokhmah, the soul's desire to receive is actually born. The vessel is born with the light, filled with the light, and nullified by the light, as discussed above. In Ein Sof, the soul is not yet called neshama because in neshama, the name neshama alludes to there being some separation from the Creator. Neshama means soul, and also means breath, or breath Our breath distinguishes us as individual beings. So the name neshama alludes to there being some independence. An emergence from the aspect of Ein Sof that reveals the soul's existence. The created being's existence becomes revealed when it makes some independent movement. This movement, called breathing, indicates the appearance of an independent being. In the sphere of Chokhmah, although the soul is born, the vessel is full of light and nullified by the light. The vessel doesn't move because the vessel has not yet developed self-awareness. As long as the soul does not have the form of a vessel, there is nothing separating it enough from the essence of God to merit having its own name. You already know that in the first aspect, the vessel is completely nullified by the light and is not recognized as a vessel. In the first stage, the vessel is born with the light and nullified by the light, as discussed above. Since the vessel has not yet developed the desire to receive and makes no independent movement, the vessel is not yet called by the name neshama. This is the secret of the spiritual world of Atzilut, being complete godliness. The progression of the spiritual worlds that the Peticha is describing is from, quote, above to below, end quote. Above to below, which is the involution. The progression of our spiritual work and development is from below to above, quote unquote, below to above, evolution. From above to below, Atzilut is the first stage. From below to above, Atzilut is the highest spiritual level we can attain. This is the exalted spiritual level of Teshuvah Me'ahava, returning in love or from love. A person who attains the level of Atzilut attains awareness of divine providence and sees how everything in reality flows only from God's bestowal of goodness. Atzilut is a state of eternal love and is the final level of attaining union with God. Although Atzilut is the highest level from the perspective of our spiritual development, the Peticha is describing the progression from above to below. From this perspective, the soul in Atzilut is completely nullified by the light and does not yet merit the name Neshama. In the secret of the verse from the Zohar, the essence, the Keter of Atzilut, the light of Chaya of Atzilut, and the vessels of Atzilut are one. In the world of Atzilut, the vessels are in union with the light and with Keter. The land of Israel is associated with the spiritual level of Atzilut. The Torah says, quote, God's eyes are always on her, end quote. At the spiritual level of Atzilut, we attain awareness that God's eyes are always on her, meaning that we become aware of God's providence. We see that every single situation in our lives and every person's life is divinely orchestrated to help us progress spiritually and experience God's goodness. Even the souls of other forms of life, when they pass through the world of Atzilut, are considered unified with God's essence. Animal souls are also comprised of light and vessel and come from God's desire to give goodness. God's desire to give goodness is the source of everything. The experience of God's goodness depends on the vessel. And we'll finish this section up. On the subject of neshama, neshama alludes to what enlivens us, the light. Light means experiencing God. Since the light is only experienced according to the vessel, our experience of the light is relative to the quality and measure of our desire to receive and our attainment of the desire to give. Our experience of the light is relative to the quality and measure of our desire to receive and our attainment of the desire to give. Bala Sulam explains that God gives each person a particular desire to receive. Desire to receive, together with the light that shines in it, is each person's unique neshama. The desire to receive, together with the light that shines in it, is each person's unique neshama, soul. When we attain the desire to give, we become able to experience and enjoy the unique light of our neshama. Okay, that was section 6. Good night.